Microsoft is they've been definitely revealing a lot more than Sony, and today they just went ahead and took a pic of it, took a snap, whipped it out, and put it on the gram. Not even private.
Nope. But this is something we all wanted to see. So.
Yeah.
Let me get the details. The deets, as the kids say, Gavin.
This is the Game Awards.
Yeah, this is just my generic B-roll for the I seduce you with the details of Microsoft's reveal. So the actual article was from Phil Spencer himself. He actually wrote the article and talked about that this morning. Microsoft has revealed new features for Xbox Series X from Phil Spencer himself. The big takeaway, you can adjust that.
There you go.
A little bit.
That's off. I just wanted the YouTube stuff to go.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, there you go. So 12 teraflops. It's a big deal. That's what I feel like a big takeaway.
That was kind of what people that were talking about. They're like, 12 teraflops is actually a good amount.
Which I don't know what a teraflop is, so you can stack 12 of them. Sweet. That's the beauty of when they actually have an E3. They can say 12 teraflops and then show, here's what that looks like. I know we've seen, some examples, but yeah.
I think they said it's like 4 times an Xbox One, 2 times an Xbox One X, which does admittedly speak to the power of the Xbox One X.
It's delivering 4 times the processing power of an Xbox One. Yes, and it's enabling developers to leverage 12 teraflops of GPU graphics processing unit performance. That's twice Xbox One, more than 8 times original Xbox One. They did confirm ray tracing is going to be there. It's hardware accelerated,
right,
and not software.
Sony will have as well, which puts them both on even footing.
Yeah, pretty excited for that. I really want to see this ray tracing on console hardware going forward because they both said it's going to be there. I want to see what that looks like.
Right.
We've seen PC stuff already, but quick resume.
It's going to look just like that.
That's awesome. That's fine.
Right.
Quick resume for multiple games. I enjoy that on PlayStation. I think it's there a little bit on Xbox, but this is multiple games you can have just like waiting. You can pause them.
Yeah.
And go back in.
And it's definitely neat with multiple games. I've never seen that. Like it's been nice with my Switch. I'll put that thing. I'll forget that I've.
Oh yeah, sure.
And that was definitely nice when I was playing through Breath of the Wild. Like I basically never came back to the menu. It was always.
Yep, because you could just stay there and pause it. Yeah.
Yeah. So multiple games. That's definitely pretty neat.
Right. And I'm not sure how many. They just say multiple, but I'm fine with a couple. I mean, I'm really not juggling that many games in reality, but
yeah.
So there's some details on dynamic latency input. We're optimizing latency in the player to console pipeline, starting with our Xbox wireless controller. So just working on latency.
This was kind of a lot of buzzwords when they talk about this.
There's one buzzword that fucking triggers me, and I hate that we talk about it, but it's in there, and we'll get to that.
Okay.
You'll see me freak out. Next gen SSD, they just confirmed that, and that's something they talked about already. It's going to support Xbox original 360 and then Xbox One games.
Can we I'm going to stop here for 1 second. I appreciate that Phil Spencer here has
this is what's
he may not be in the that's not Phil Spencer.
No, I think you're right. I'm confirmed.
He may not be in the best shape, but he is literally I've never seen him in worse or better shape. He is in the most consistent shape of your life. I don't even think he's aged. They just pull him out of the freezer every year.
That's true. No, and it's a hard thing to keep a consistent, thing going health wise. And
so he's at least working out. Mm-hmm. Like he's putting in the hours.
Not any more than that.
Right.
And I'm not talking shit. He's in way better shape.
Right. Oh, absolutely. But that was just I just now realized he's incredibly consistent. Probably healthy for it. So good for Phil.
It's the power of 12 teraflops.
Random. I feel like if he saw this, he'd be like, "The fuck, guys! I've never looked better, you dicks."
Well, he's looking good. We have smart delivery. This is a big one. So this is, I'll go into the details here. Mm-hmm. This technology empowers you to buy a game once and know that whether you're playing on an Xbox One, Xbox Series X.
They kind of said this, though.
Well, have they? I mean, they kind of confirmed that this is like a legit feature. And it's pretty dope for consumers anyways. You're getting the right version of that game on whatever Xbox you're playing on. We're making the commitment to use smart delivery on all our Xbox Game Studio titles, including Halo Infinite, ensuring you only have to purchase a title once in order to play the best available version of whichever Xbox console you choose to play it on. Mm-hmm. So, in short, when you buy the game once, it works on Xbox One, Series X, on Xbox One original. And then Cyberpunk jumped on that by tweeting this morning that they're also going to support that day one in Cyberpunk 2077. So if you buy it now, it's going to work on the Series X, whichever title you buy it on.
Right. It's pretty fucking cool. You know, when you look at the fact that it's kind of just, it's probably just like a setting basically between versions of a PC version. Right. Is it that impressive? No, but it's also the first time a console has had it.
That's the thing. This is all the same stuff we see in PC world, but this is a whole new, era with console gaming. So now we have that kind of stuff. And with PC gaming, I mean, you have these different, you have your potato version of your PC, you have your mid-range, your high. So they're already used to that. It's just now because the components, I imagine, it's all one-in-one with like console and PC games. So it's easy for them to just turn it over and do that same thing. Yeah. Which is dope.
Yeah, it's very cool. And I think, again, something I kind of predicted, or not predicted, I mean, I'm just going along with it at this point, but I think it's going to be a really smooth transition. The fact that you can play these games. I still don't know if it's confirmed that you can play Xbox, Series X games with the xCloud.
Interesting.
But I don't think it's out of range. So the fact that you can, have your Xbox One or your Xbox One X and then you get the new console, so maybe you're investing into the xCloud. And you can kind of play that until eventually the itch gets you and you buy the new series.
Yep.
And you can play it on your phone. Like, it's definitely, it seems like Microsoft's strategy to have your games playable everywhere. And it almost, in a way, like it's been, they have a hard time making Sony look bad because Sony's got the exclusives.
They do.
They've been trying to, at least they've been offering, the ability for crossplay, but now you can crossplay on just about anything. And if they ever do actually announce that you can play these things on the Switch, like, can you imagine how much like lunch they would be eating on Sony? Like, you can play it on everything. Like, and I definitely, if you could play on the xCloud with the Microsoft on the Switch with the whatchamacallit, the Game Pass.
Oh, sure.
I'd finally have it at that point.
That's also how the Switch kind of stays in the game for longer, because a lot of these Switch games are getting our PC ports, and they just can't. Eventually, that old Switch hardware is gonna be harder and harder for them to kind of make those not remakes, but like ports over. But if you can have that streaming, that gives you a little bit more time before you have to release the next Switch. That'd be great. And they already have a good relationship. That was a rumor months ago, but that rumor kind of went away. I don't know what's going on behind the scenes with that. So we'll see. But that is a great.
And at the end of the day, it could have just been a rumor.
That's true. It just seems like it's a rumor, but it seems possible or a no-brainer. But I know, like, legally or deal-wise, it's harder for these companies to work together. Yeah. The one thing they ended with was, which I don't like at all. It's 120 frame per second support. I feel like we shouldn't be talking, like, as far as these companies rather shouldn't be saying 120 frames per second, because it doesn't matter. It's also not really doable. If you're thinking like 4K, you're thinking this high frame rate, like, why even say that? 60 is already fine. Like, at least if we can get it to there.
That's what they're trying to make standard, but there's literally nothing they can do to enforce it.
That's true. It depends on the dev and like what game is going to support this. Maybe you can get there's that really popular shooter that was a Half-Life mod. I'm blanking on the name, but that people are constantly play that on like super high frame rates. Not Crossfire. I'm blanking on the name of it. But
Counter-Strike?
Counter-Strike. There you go. People play that on like super high frame rates all the time. So like if you ported that, okay, you can play that on 120 frames per second.
It is kind of interesting that you combine this with the they have that new, they're saying it's ultra low latency for controller tech, and then they also mention that they have the sync with your monitor, so your monitor latency is lower, your controller latency is lower, your hard drive loading latency is lower. I think the big thing though, that latency lowering with the monitor and your controller, I think they may be trying to corner the fighting game scene, because if that's the fastest, that's the
standard.
You're not gonna play on. Can you imagine people like, I trained on Xbox and now I go to a tournament and play on shitty PlayStation? Like, what is this garbage? So I think that'll be and lots of monitors support that, especially the ones they play at fighting games. Like they got those BenQ monitors. I think that's the thing. Maybe I'm talking on my ass, but they could be the standard and awesome.
Yeah. I mean that's another reason how that secures them into just better graces with consumers and with fans. This is still more speculation, but does that worry you any more about the price? The fact that they're showing some of these features or confirming these features? Are we still in an insane price range? What do you think?
I think they're feeling pretty confident right now. I have a feeling Sony's doing more custom stuff, and that's driving up the price tag. I think Microsoft's doing a little bit more off the shelf and a little bit more doable stuff. So I think that's part of the reason they're so confident.
Gotcha.
And the fact that they're clearly making good time.
Yeah.
Like, they're announcing all this stuff. They're at pace. I'm more worried about Sony at this point.
It gets weirder at this point, yeah, because and maybe Xbox is just following that more of a standard announcement time frame.
Yeah.
But it makes you feel good that like they're going in the right direction. They're having their ducks in the row and knowing when they want to make these announcements.
Yeah.
It seems like Sony is waiting for something weird as far as when they start talking about this. I don't know, but yeah. I mean, Xbox is owning the narrative right now.
Yeah. Absolutely. They've got the whole thing. They've got the publishing rights. They got the book deal.
Yeah.
George R. R. Martin. They got George R. R. Martin to finally publish something. Like,
the movie's ready to go with Harry Potter playing The Rock, something like that.
Harry Potter playing The Rock?
That's my fan fiction. Sorry.
Can I please watch Daniel Radcliffe attempt to play The Rock in his origin story? That would just...
That could be dope. Have you seen... I haven't watched the trailer yet, but it's that Guns Akimbo or something like... what's that Daniel Radcliffe movie where he has these guns duct taped to his hands?
It looked... God, it looks upsetting.
Really? Is it? I didn't watch the trailer. I don't know what.
I mean, he's just... It's basically like this world where this guy will, like, you know, force two people to fight to the death, and so this guy, he screws the gun to his hand.
Oh.
So these are in
they're
there.
Just taped on their fun. Okay.
No, they're screwed to his hand.
Jesus.
His hands are screwed to this gun. And you know, he can't. It's kind of funny because when he wakes up, he has no clothes on.
Yeah.
And like trying to put clothes on when you have guns on your hands, you can't do it. Trying to open the doorknob.
How does he reload, or what's to do with ammo? Did they show that?
I don't know.
So
maybe he.
And then you're good. You don't have to
maybe he can't. But and the thing to go with it was so he's trying to, like, I know in the trailer they show him talking to the other gal that's trying to kill him. He's like, let's team up and kill the guy that's trying to kill us, or trying to get us to kill each other.
Yeah.
And she's clearly a badass and was like, nah, fuck it.
I see. Huh.
So it looks...
I didn't watch the trailer yet, but
yeah, it looks...
seeing a little bit.
I just love that Daniel Radcliffe has enough money that he just does whatever the fuck he wants. And some of his projects are really cool. Did you ever watch Horns?
Yeah, that was a cool movie. I think it's...
God, it was good. Yeah. Upsetting, but it was good.
The end, but it was weird and moody, and I like that whole direction he's going. Yeah. He reminds me a lot of Pattinson, who they both came off like hugely successful franchises.
Pattinson?
Robert Pattinson?
New Batman?
New Batman. They're very similar with they're taking these creative roles, whatever they want to do, they're doing it.
Yeah.
And they're kind of reinventing their career, and Pattinson's doing the same thing.
I feel like someone that did the same thing, but I also don't feel like they had a tenth of the money these two do is who's Frodo?
Oh yes. God, I'm blanking on his name, but Frodo. Yeah.
Yeah, like I don't think he has near the money these guys do, but he just does the funnest projects.
Mm-hmm. Yep. That's what you got to do. You made your money and just kind of do creatively what you want to do.
Yeah.
Gavin, everyone's freaking out over this coronavirus.